Welcome back to Nobody's Wrench, everybody. Patrick and John here. Today we are working on my 1964 F-100. It's been a bit of a project to get here, but we finally have parts for it. I got off my lazy ass and got some stuff ordered finally, and had a few new things pop up. Originally it was just the carburetor wasn't pushing fuel. Dan rebuilt the carb. That works wonderful. And the fuel tank was full of varnished fuel because it's been a minute. So it smelled pretty bad.
Pretty bad, you know, 6 years in a field almost full. Might do that.
It's a little stinky. We may have spilled a little bit as we were moving the tank out of the shop, so it's got a little stench is still in the air even a few weeks later. So I did order a new tank from LMC. You can see we've got a little black on there. John had to get his body work on and make it a little more circular again. So
carefully massage it back into place.
Carefully. A little bit of black paint just to prevent corrosion on it. The tank itself looks really nice. It fits about perfect so far from what I've seen. LMC was about the best deal I could find, so not sponsored by them, not endorsed by them, just the place that I bought it from. I did buy some other stuff too for it. Door seals, ascending unit, just little stuff there. This truck has the fuel tank mounted in the box, which isn't where it came from originally. So your truck is a 1960. His has the tank in the cab. This is a 64. The guys that did the restoration work on it or the hot rodding of it took it out of the cab to fit a different seat in there. So they've got this weird frame that you'll see in a little bit. Puts it in the bed of the truck, switches the filler neck from the driver's side to the passenger side. So it's a little unique in that sense. It's always been good to me for the almost 2 decades I've owned it until recently here when it was neglected and it wasn't happy.
Time to get back on the road. And I would like to say that it's not a bad upgrade to actually get that tank out of the cab. And, you know, there go tuck it underneath, or in this case, in the bed of the truck. You know, there is you smell the fumes sometimes when you fill up. Potential for fire hazards. So it is it's a good upgrade to do. So I'm glad we're going to do that.
Yeah. Yep. And so I'll show you the frame in a bit here. It's not poorly done. It's interesting to say the least. The guys that owned the truck before me just had interesting ways of doing things. I don't always agree with it. I also haven't taken the really time to change it. So for now, we're just going to roll with what it is. The tank was good for almost 20 years. We'll just keep doing it. I know John would like it to be mobile because it's living at his house right now. So having it being able to drive back and forth would be really nice to clear space for him. So you'll see some more of that video here shortly. Other than that, grab a beer, sit back, enjoy what we do here.
Let's get this thing running.
Yeah.
Whose wrench is this?
I don't know. Nobody's?
It's in a dumb spot.
So here's the, oh God, fuck that. Okay, I'll try that again. So here's the fuel tank as we just talked about in the intro. This is the frame that the guys built to move it to the bed of the truck. There's these little tabs here to attach to the top of the tank in 3 spots, and that's pretty much it. It has a little bit of bolts. I think up here there was some bracketry to hold it in the bed where it needs to, but beyond that, it's just a couple of bolts holding it in, and this thing just slides right in. So pretty easy overall. I'm gonna set the camera in the corner, turn on the time lapse, and you guys will see kind of the process of putting it back in the bed. Been at it for a little bit here. The flange on the bottom of this fuel tank is different than what it had OEM. The factory one was essentially flat, and this one had little ears sticking out. So we had to take and bend those. As you can see, this is that framework we were talking about that the guys who had this before me built to put the fuel tank in the bed. And then on top of it, they have these little tabs up here. I don't know if they're just to reinforce it, is my guess. And they didn't really fit, so I had to do a little fab work there. Not my best work, but at the same time, it's enough to get it going, which is what I care about at this time. Yeah, so all you gotta do is tighten up all the hardware and the bolts on this thing. Then this whole frame can go back into the bed of the truck, and then we'll hook up the sending unit power, the feed tube for the fuel pump, and then the actual filler neck itself, and attach the frame. So pretty easy from here forwards, and then hopefully we can put some gas in it and this thing will run. So fingers crossed, we'll be idling on its own here very soon. Okay, so I had to do a little modification here to the framework. Not really concerned about how it looks or how it supports the tank. It's not the idea. It's got these 3 bolts across the top. Obviously, like I said, we had to bend the flanges on the bottom. I ended up taking out a little piece of metal where the filler neck was. This tank seems to be sitting just a little bit higher than the old one did. So just got rid of that piece to get out of the way so we can hook up the filler neck hose to it. There's a ghost in here with me. Yeah, so now we just got to put the filler neck on, hook up the feed and the power, or the levels, sender level, levels, you got it. The sender level, get a little power to that thing, and then we should be good to go. As you may notice, the truck is now outside. Ta-da! Pretty successful day overall. So the fuel tank that came from LMC is the OEM style tank. Had some differences there that we had to take care of. John got a little creative with some duckbill pliers and folded the flanges on the bottom, as I kind of talked about in the video earlier. The other thing that we were struggling with here is the filler neck is actually at normal height is like this. On the old tank that was in it, they must have taken a hammer to it.
Yep, bent the whole thing down and redid it.
So it fits with the filler neck into the tank. So right now they're offset. So the filler neck isn't hooked up on it. I don't quite know how I want to proceed with that.
We can either do what they did, which is risky because if you bend it too much, it actually is going to put a hole in the gas tank.
Yep.
Or what we might do is make a little plate and have it be a top fill with a 90-degree elbow to go right in there as well too.
Something like that. So things to do. The idle's a little high right now, so Dan, the carb wizard, is going to have to come back and do a little work on it, but I was able to drive it for the first time in 7 years, which is pretty fucking awesome. I took it out around the neighborhood, came back, and it was nice. Little rough going with the high idle, but as long as you put it in gear and get some gas in there, it goes just fine.
And it had brakes.
And it had brakes, which the last time John had to move it, it didn't seem to have brakes, and we don't know if it's because it was angled really far back or what, but it is now has brakes, so fingers crossed for now. We're just going to say yay, because it stopped just fine for me when I drove it, and it stopped here. So yeah, pretty successful day overall. Look for more content on this thing going forwards, and little tweaks and things here and there. I got to touch up a few more things on it. Obviously, John has plenty of toys that we're looking at right now. There's his 60, there's the Galaxy, Frankenstein is still waiting in the wings back there.
Yep.
So, got a Lincoln Town Car just hiding back here too.
Yep, get that thing rolling or rip out that 4.6 and put that 55 F-100 sitting in that trailer right there too. So
John's got some problems. At the end of the video there, my phone cut off because I was having memory issues. So as kind of the video shows of the truck there, we wrapped up the fuel tank install, got to drive it a little bit, and then it's got some more things to touch up. Fixing the idle, which I talked to Dan about, figuring out that filler neck, just to get that figured out there. Got a tonneau cover to mount on it, finish up the door seals, just things like that. But overall, we've got plenty of other projects, and when the phone cut off there, John was saying he's got a 55 F-100 in that trailer behind us. So we've got projects. If you like projects, if you like fun stuff, like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video from A Nobody's Wrench. Thank you.